Time is, mate. Yeah.
Hi.
Oh, we're on. G'day. How you going?
Good afternoon. How are you all? Welcome to Sunday Afternoon Live. It's the 6th of June, I think. Is that right? I think it's the 6th of June. I'm Shani.
I'm
This
Rick.
is Rick.
How you going?
We are Havenwood Tiny Homes, along with a lot of other people that make up this fantastic team that we have. And we've got, as per usual on a Sunday afternoon, we've got a lot of questions for you. I'm sort of not ready because it was such a beautiful day today. I've been out in the garden and I literally, I've still got from here down is all my gardening clothes. and I'm quickly throwing on something else.
From here up is your coffee in barrel clothes.
Yes, that's right. That's what you do. Oops, I've bumped the table. So we're coming to you today we've been in the barn, we've been in the tiny home. So today we're inside our house because there's a whole lot of children here. So we're really hoping, we've locked the door. We're hoping they won't come in. Hopefully all the other doors are locked and they can't get inside. So if you hear hammering at the windows, that's because our children are outside and they're hungry. So so anyway,
So Dad, ask me how you coordinate a Sunday afternoon with about 5 grandkids, 3 or 4 foster kids, son-in-laws, a couple of random blow-ins, all that sort of stuff.
How do you coordinate all of it?
I don't know.
Don't know.
You just lock them outside.
Idea. Yeah, well, that's what happened today. We had a lot of inspections this afternoon, and they weren't booked in. So that's something we really need to get organised. And of course, Rick being Rick, he's like, sure, come on over, no worries. So Sunday we're trying to make the family day so we can see the grandkids and just spend some time in the garden together. So we just. We're trying to, I'll have to change that. Well, that wasn't booked online. So we're just really trying to get you to book online if you can. And then that gives us family time as well. And then we can,
Yeah, then I don't look so rough around the edges. It's like if I know someone's coming, I can sort of spruce up a bit. I'll put my new cap on.
Yeah.
My new hat on.
We're coming to you on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Instagram batteries are very low. So, oh my gosh. Okay, my son-in-law has just walked past the window.
Moody.
And he might have had no pants from the back. Okay, thanks for that. That scarred me for life. All right. So we promised you that we would have a bit of a chat about where we started. So just the people that maybe haven't are just new following along, that we could have a talk about how Havenwood Tiny Home started, where it all began, and then we'll get into the questions that we've had this week. Today we're having some beautiful De Bordeley wine from a beautiful client that gave us some red wine from a company that he used to work for. So we're so grateful. Thank you, Lana and Vicky. We're having a nice glass of red this afternoon by our fireplace. So thank you. We started, what year? It was 2019, wasn't it?
2019.
And we had built a tiny home for our daughter and son-in-law who wanted to live here on the property with us. And Rick had never seen tiny homes before.
No, we didn't build a tiny home.
You built a little house.
I built a little house for my daughter and son-in-law because they wanted to live on our 1 acre lot with us.
Yeah.
And
then we moved here.
As it turned out, we sold that 1 acre and we bought some acreage. And then we had to move the little home that I built, but it was too tall to put on the back of a truck. So then I had to build a
trailer,
a harness and wheels and trailer and whatnot, and to be able to move it because it was too tall to put on the back because it would hit the power lines.
Yes.
So hence I had to build a trailer to actually get it here.
Yeah.
So of course it wasn't registered, but we scolded it over here at 2 o'clock in the morning, and
because you hadn't. Tiny homes weren't even a thing. Like we didn't know.
Never heard of tiny homes.
Like we don't watch much telly. Actually, we don't watch any telly. So we were outside and do all those other things that crazy people do. But so we've never seen any of the shows, tiny home shows. We have since, but not then.
No.
And hadn't heard of a tiny house. So we literally just built this little home, put it on a trailer, and then moved it over here, and hence they lived in it, and everything was rosy. And then our daughter again said, well, you know, there's a lot of people that would be interested in living like this. You know, there are like these shows from America and la la la. And she started looking into it a bit, and that was when we thought, well, maybe there is something in this. Maybe living that way is that simple lifestyle that we were yearning for. We couldn't do because we have children, foster children, grandchildren. There's just too many of us to fit in a tiny house. But we loved the concept of it, and we live small in this home. And we thought, well, maybe this is something we could do. So we built a display model, and we had a open day. That was in May 2019. So that just gives you a bit of an idea of how sort of recently the company has actually been going. So 2 years, just over 2 years. And we had over how many people came?
700 people.
Over 700 people came to our front paddock and had a look through the tiny home, and it was just glorious. We had our friends helping us out. We had people from Canada that were here at the time sort of helping to park cars, and it was just amazing. It was a wonderful day. We had the mayor of our town, and some of the councillors came and thought, what a great idea for the farmers. Like, they were so on board with it. It was just unreal. And we thought from there, you know what, let's give this a go.
Yeah. So
from May sort of towards the end of 2019, we built a couple of display models, which you would have seen if you've been on our websites, and we had a couple of sales from that, which got us thinking, all right, this is a thing, let's do it. So then we booked in for the Sydney Home Show in 2020, and that was in March, and that was the first big thing. We were thinking, here we go, we're going to have 50,000 orders, you know, it was just, you know, think big. Optimist. So we get to the home show, and it was incredible. Yeah. There was thousands of people that came through, and a lot of them had never seen a tiny house before.
Yeah,
like
just insane.
Insane.
And I reckon from that show, I reckon we probably had 20 or 30 people racked up.
Yes, there
jump
was
on board.
Literally 20 or 30 people. Yeah. That show finished on a Sunday. The Monday morning in March 2020, the nation world lockdown.
Yeah.
The next day,
Australia
literally the next day.
Gone.
Even at the show, there was hardly anyone with masks on. It was like there was a few, but it wasn't even a big thing then. So within a day, overnight,
24 hours, gone.
What we thought. So all of those people that we were calling said, well, we just need to wait to see what is going on with the world. We don't know. We don't know if our plans are going to happen. So
and what probably hurt the most was 7 days before the government chose to shut their country down. I just signed a 5-year lease on a factory to build tiny homes.
Because we had a few orders, so we were going, you know, we thought this is it, this is the way we're going. So literally the pandemic, because we were only a new company, we weren't people that were already established. We weren't already in the market that had that couple of years behind us. We were only new. So we limped along for months. We did the builds that we had, and we just thought, what the heck are we going to do? And literally, I can remember, and on top of that, don't forget, we had the fires. We had drought. Australia really was under the pump. If everyone remembers that time, it was a hard time for our country. And we'd been evacuated in January from our property. There was no rain. All our tanks were empty. The dams were pretty empty.
Sorry, Vicky.
So, answer that call later. So you might have to turn your phone on silent because that'll happen again. We got to the point where we thought, what are we doing? What are we actually going to do? And I can remember getting on the tractor and going down the front, and I was just mowing one of the paddocks, and we were praying a lot, and I just remember saying, God, if you don't turn up soon, like, we thought this was the path you wanted us to go on. If you don't turn up soon, we're done. Like, we're over. It's over. And that was a Sunday, and I can't remember the date, but that was a Sunday. On the Monday, the phones started ringing, and they haven't stopped since. They haven't stopped since. It was about 6 months into the pandemic. We literally were on our last legs. So maybe not 6 months, maybe 4 months, I think, in. So March, April, May, June, July. Yeah, about July. and the phone started ringing because Australia realised that, you know what, this is our new normal. This might never be over. International travel might never happen again. What am I going to do with my life? I want to get out of the city. People were just calling from everywhere, and we just went righto. And since then, we've been able to help so many people, and the people that we've met, the stories, like we just love hearing the stories of, we've had the bushfire, the people that needed places they lost their homes in fires, and couldn't get the insurance, or were waiting on insurance and needed somewhere to live. And like, our hearts are like, we just want to build them for everybody and just give them to them. But of course, we need to eat. So
I think you hit the nail on the head, Dale, when you say help people.
Yeah.
And this for us is an opportunity. It's affordable housing for people. It's people sort of getting in the housing market.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, tiny homes aren't going away.
No.
They're really starting to.
It's
take
really
off
becoming
in
a viable alternative for people. Yeah.
And it is. It's affordable housing. At the end
Surely
of the day,
is. Yeah.
A lot of people can't afford the $1 million home.
Yeah.
Or they're not prepared to have that stress level of $1 million debt.
Yeah.
So this is affordable housing, so they can actually live their life rather than they work because they want to, not because they got to.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good place to be.
Yeah. Well, so since then, and predominantly, like for me, like let's just be totally transparent, it's quite a vulnerable place because predominantly the people that we're seeing, or Rick's seeing in his inspections, are either single mums or like women who are on their own for maybe the first time in their life. They're on their own. And if I wasn't sure of my place in the world, I'd be feeling pretty vulnerable right now because there's lots of lovely young women coming to have inspections with Rick about tiny home living. And I trust him. I love my husband, and he loves me, and that's all great. But yeah, certainly, it seems to be the predominance is ladies that need somewhere to be, somewhere to live, which is really sad in a sense. Like, where are the men? Where'd they all disappear to? So, yeah, not something that's a big problem that we can't answer, obviously, but certainly we want to help as much as we can.
Yeah.
And so we're just from that really hard time that everybody in our country went through. We're now at a place of like trying to navigate now a business that's growing very rapidly. So we've gone from building one at a time here, on the farm, to going to a factory, to now moving to a really big factory to cope with the demand, and more staff and more people in the office, and all of that's happening at the same time as we're getting that interest. So bear with us if we haven't replied to you, or we haven't. Yeah, we're doing our very best, and we're here, and that's it. So we should get into the questions. So that's sort of a little bit of a background on how we come to be here today.
It was really exciting, actually. Hit the home show the second year.
Oh, that's right. That's what I was going to say. We just finished that again.
And just shout out to Peter, Alistair, and I forget the rest of the names of the guys in there.
Such a great team.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
They were so helpful.
Yeah.
For us setting up and
a lot of
the
people from last year, they came back, didn't they?
Lauren, sorry, I've forgotten your name. But
all the people that were there last year in March, they were back and they're like, aha.
Yeah.
Now, and we've had a few orders from those people that saw us the first year and have come back. So, what a great show it is.
Really exciting. Yeah. So I'm really stoked with the effort they put in. I'm so grateful at the just the help that we had for these guys, just loading up, getting in there, and helping us out. So thank you guys.
Good.
Thank you, Home Show guys.
Yeah, we had a journalism student come through this week. She's doing I'm not sure what it's called. Not a PhD. She's focusing on the tiny house movement and what it means for Australia. So that'll be really interesting. I hope that her article gets published at the end, because she lived in a tiny house village in Canada for years. And I like it. That's what we need here. She said they were all young, predominantly single women and men, and they lived together. They all had jobs. They all were working, and it was a great community space, and was on a property outside of
and chatting to a few politicians, they've got this stigma that people that live in a tiny home or want to live in a tiny home, like down in the Alps, and like honestly, the people I've met, our clients and future clients, like they're lovely people. Like they just maybe had a rough trot, or
But
About
most of
right,
them
you know,
are
so
working. Most of them
they're working,
are,
they get jobs.
they've got
and they're viable people. They're lovely people. So I really get annoyed when the government try to put all these people into this bag.
a cliche.
It's like, are you kidding? That's
Yeah.
right for you. Yeah. Anyway, don't go there.
So
Go.
that's right. Let's start with
Let's
the
ask the
questions.
question before I
Okay.
speak out of line.
That's right. Maybe this, you know what I mean, or this. What size is the new display Jackson that you're building now? What size is it?
The new display Jackson is based off our original principal design, which is 3 metres wide, 7.2 metres long, and 4.6 metres high. Now, for those that aren't right up to speed with what 4.6 metres means, 4.6 metres means that in your upstairs loft you've got 6'2". That's 1.85 metres clear ceiling height. So that means you can walk around your bed, you can stand up when you get out of bed. So I'm pretty excited about this because it really, we actually, it was a strategic move, I guess. We built a standard tiny home across Australia, 2.4 wide, 4.3 high, 7.2 metres long. Which means it was a maximum ceiling height we're able to gain upstairs, which is 1.6 metres we were able to clear. 1.6 metres upstairs. But there was a couple of ladies that could actually stand upright in the 1.6, but ultimately most people couldn't stand upright. And I'm not a fan of getting out of bed and not being able to stand up. So I think building that Emerson model, I had a customer ask the other day, why hasn't the Emerson sold? I said, because when people see the Emerson, they upgrade to our bigger models. Every time.
They walk through the Emerson and then go into the larger models and go, no, I want this one.
So for an extra 10 grand, you upgrade to a 3 metre tiny home at 4.6 high. So it's pretty exciting. I'm really excited the way that's travelling.
Okay, all right. So there's another question on the Jackson. What design and colours will this new model have?
Oh,
are we going to tell them, or are we just going to wait? Maybe we just wait as a surprise.
No, I'm thinking the first thing comes to mind, Pimp My Ride. It's right up there. Louver windows, black louver windows, fireplace, real fireplace, wood burning fireplace, queen size bed upstairs, second loft.
I think we'll keep the colour schemes and things to ourselves for now.
But the external colours, well, we haven't done this before. It's new to us.
It is.
But it's going to be
right up
there.
And this is from the boys that work for us. We're in our 50s, they're in their 30s, and they've got different ideas. And they said, guys, we want to have a say. Of course they do. So we're going with what they are saying that generation likes for this one. So let us know what you think.
That generation, is that before our generation, or are we still in the same generation?
No, they're a lot younger than us, dear.
I know.
20 years at least younger. So, I still feel that way inside, but the outside's not. I've got the silver fox.
Don't get much change out of 56 star.
That's it. Hey, as long as we're still active and healthy, who cares, right?
All good.
That's it. So like on that question, we won't do the colours until we finalise the design and we show you when it's done.
Big revealing, Mudgee Field Days.
Yes, in July. It's going to be at Mudgee Field Days in July. So we'll have some sneaky peek pictures before then. It'll be finished in about a month, I think, right? June. Mm-hmm. But early July it'll be ready to go. So next question: how do I get an inspection to take a look? Because we've had people sort of just calling in.
It would be
how does
great.
it work?
It would be great if you can go online. We've got a book a tour.
Book a tour page.
Book a tour.
Yes.
So you can go online, book a tour. And that way, firstly, I don't double book myself because I'm a bit.
Which has happened.
Done that plenty of times. But if you do that, and then I can spruce myself up and put my new hat on.
They're the same hat. They're all the same hat.
Yeah, but it's a new one.
Oh, it's a new right. Okay, but it's exactly the same hat that you've worn for 35 years. So
someone said to me the other day,
I've got some hats coming. I can't wait. Yeah, we're going to have a little bit of merch because I'm really excited about these hats.
Someone said to me the other day, he said, Rick, why do you wear your hat? I said, because if I take it off, no one will recognise me.
That's true. That's so true. All right. Okay. What size water tanks do you recommend, and do you have them in stock?
Yeah. Okay. I initially suggested a 2,000 litre tank, but you know what? 2,000 litres just through trial and error, and we're actually doing this with a couple now, and we're finding that 2,000 litres is not enough.
Okay.
5,000 litre tank. Definitely got to go for a 5,000 litre tank.
Yep.
So the initial, that's if you're going off grid. Okay, so if you're going off grid, out in the bush, out in the sticks, out in the farm, whatever. But get the 5,000 litre tank. Honestly, it's only an extra $600.
Right.
$600 for a 5,000 litre tank.
Yeah. Is that all on our website too? I think those prices are there on the
all
optional
the prices,
extras.
Optional extras, all on our website.
Yeah.
Go for
because we can bring that when we deliver.
5,000 litre tank, because what I suggest to people, once we set one up, of our homes up off grid with the tank beside it, and you actually get a water cart guy to come in, fill up the first load.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you're paying for the truck hire. The water's cheap. Like it's like half a cent per litre or something.
Yeah.
Not even.
Yeah.
So the water's cheap, but the truck driver's dear. So what you got to do, you go for a bigger tank.
Yeah.
Smash it, because they hold like 10,000 litres. Yeah. So go for a bigger tank.
Okay.
And then that'll do the job.
Great. Okay. And we have them in stock.
Yeah.
Now, can people? I suppose people can just buy a water tank from anywhere, so they don't have to buy it from us.
Yeah. But the beauty, what we do is part of our service. We can provide is that the people can. If we do a supply and install tank, we actually do all the connections for you as well.
Yes. And that's actually also on there. Everything's listed on the website, the optional extras, so installation.
And people, especially if you're
just had a question about stainless steel tanks. Is that what we do, or do we supply them? Or
we can supply the stainless steel tanks, but honestly, galvanised tanks, PVC tanks. I mean, if you're after a look,
they are extra. They're a lot extra.
Yeah. Stainless is going to cost you a fortune. But I think even galvanised is more than PVC. Yeah. Galvanised tanks probably got more the look of the country style and things like that. But
PVC,
PVC is good.
It's probably a personal choice, but the stainless steel are very expensive.
Actually, something for the DIYs. Okay, if you're in a leafy area, you're setting your tank up inside your tiny home. You've got your gravity feed from your gutters of your tiny home straight into your tank. Yep. What's going to happen with that is, especially if you're in a leafy area, you're going to catch all the leaves. You're going to catch all the dirt and grime and stuff, and it's going to run straight into your tank. And ultimately, you're going to have to put a filter in or something like that, right? Yeah. So, a little heads up for the DIYs. Okay. When you do your rainwater catchment into your tank, if you actually get your rainwater downpipes and you go lower than the inlet into the tank, so you go down to the ground and then back up into the tank. What that means is now you've created a U-bend in your downpipe, right? Yep. So all the solids like leaves and dust and silt and stuff is going to come down and get trapped in the U part of your downpipe. But when you install, good question, Dave. Okay. Good to see you got the head of the gun, Dave. Head of the gun. Okay, so when you set that U section up, what you do, you put in a screw, a T intersection, right, with a screw cap on it. So after every rainfall, once you've filled your tank up, go through and that's washed all the new fresh leaves and silt and bird shit and stuff into your tank, right down into that S-bed. Oh, bleep. Oops. Bleep. Anyway, all that solids, including bird stuff, is stuck in the bottom of your U section, right? Yes. So what you do then, you just wind the cap off, flushes the pipe out, cleans all the leaves and bird stuff out, right? Yes. Screw the cap back on, then you're ready for the next rainfall. Okay. So what that does is going to help keep your tank clean.
So that'd be like a filter on a normal house. Yeah. As a rainwater. Yeah. Okay.
It's a poor man's filtration system.
Poor man's filtration. I love it.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Love it.
Okay. Next question. Do you do a lay-by system?
Actually, I was asked this question the other day by a lady. The answer to that is yes.
Okay. Now, how does it work?
Okay. Because what happens is a lot of people they might maybe got to have they got the superannuation coming through in 12 months, or they've got a payout coming, or this or that or whatever, and it's down the track. But with Australia, the way it is at the moment in materials and supplies, that sort of stuff, it's just going through the roof. It's pushed. Just since January this year, we've had a 15% rise in material costs. Trailers, parts, tiny house, like paneling,
and it's hard to get. Like windows, if you're building a house anywhere, trying to get windows in Australia at the moment.
Just everything's gone to zero. So the beauty of a lay-by system is that people can come to it. Firstly, you're starting to pay it off over maybe 6 or 12 months. Right? You say, whatever you can afford, you start to pay it off. But it locks in that price. But it enables me to lock in that price with my suppliers.
Right.
So if I say, listen, I've locked this price in, we've got the trailer, we've got all the parts, we've got all the bondle, we've got roof and all that sort of windows, the whole shit and shebang, we lock in that reduced price in today's money, not 12 months' time.
Okay.
So keep that in mind. It's something worth thinking about.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Do you? This was interesting. Do you think your walling system is environmentally friendly? And talk about that.
Yeah.
You know, timber versus the bondle that we use. How does it work?
Yeah. Well, obviously, people have got this.
So if you don't know, we use a refrigeration panel.
We use a refrigeration polystyrene. Polystyrene.
It's encased in what?
Yeah. Polystyrene is a stable material unless you burn it. Okay. So just the polystyrene is encased by colour-bond steel, and that's why we construct our homes. So it's like our homes are like a giant esky on wheels. Yeah, it's full-blown, light, insulated, solid. They don't move. So in transit, like in transport, I mean, obviously the tiny homes. So you're going to move them on the road. You're going to drive on off the beaten track. You're going to go forward driving with the tiny home. You know, like there's going to be chassis potential movement, but yes, there's movement in our springs and shocks of our tiny homes. But the actual tiny home itself is a rigid box. Like I said, it's like an esky on wheels. It doesn't move, it doesn't twist, it doesn't bend, it doesn't walk. So what that means is there's no hairline cracks, there's no movement, you don't have to worry about shrinkage, expansion. It's just
I believe
stable.
another tiny house builder is changing over to that system, which is
which is awesome because you know what? I think it's a great product.
Yeah.
And I think if
it is a great product.
And I think there'd probably be a lot more tiny homes
involved.
There'll probably be a lot more tiny home builders building out a bundle, out a refrigeration panel right now because you can't get timber.
Yes.
But the trouble with timber.
And so when we talk about timber, people say, "Oh, timber's environmentally friendly." What is timber treated with when it's?
I just can't work this out. Yeah. Right? People say, "Oh, I'm a greenie," yet they'll chop down a tree to build their house.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just don't understand that.
Yeah, have a chat to us. Hey, put your comments in there. Like, you know, we want to be sustainable, and we believe our product is sustainable.
Yeah.
So,
but if you build from a product that's going to last you 50 years versus a product that's going to last 20 years, like, isn't it more sustainable?
Well, you know, I think so. But I think there's swings and roundabouts for every argument, and
for sure. But if the insulation is already built in, right, it's solid, it's insulated.
It doesn't affect anyone unless the steel comes off the outside, and
unless you burn it,
you light it, and it might,
obviously you're not going to burn it. So
interesting though. We would love to chat more about this whole.
But I think whether you build from timber or refrigeration panel or steel frame, at the end of the day, you've already reduced your carbon footprint because you're not building a 300 square metre home.
That's right.
So regardless of what tiny home builder you go with, whether they build out of steel, timber or Bondo,
you are already doing more than 99% of the population.
You're already reducing the carbon footprint. If you believe in that stuff.
So that there you go. That's there you go. I don't know if that answered the question, but we'll just leave it there. Okay, next question. Do you have any tiny homes for sale now? I don't want to wait months in the build queue. So.
We have one left. Which is the Emerson.
Yes.
We haven't done a big push for the Emerson, but you know what? I'm all for turning over a product, moving stuff on, because we're constantly improving. And
the Emerson is our 2.4 by 7.2 long.
We built this to be in comparison to the rest of the tiny home builders across Australia.
To show what everyone else does.
Yeah, just to show 2.4, 2.5
Except we still can stand up upstairs.
Yeah.
You don't have to crawl into bed or hit your head when you get out of bed.
Yeah, 1.6 metre ceiling height upstairs. But what we're finding, and I think I mentioned this earlier, someone asked me, but why Well, you still have it because I said when people see it compared to our larger models, they always upgrade to the 3 metre model.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why it's still there. So if you're a short ass or short person, if you're a short person, 1.6 clear ceiling height upstairs.
Yeah.
This is the one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. So it sort of flows on. How long is the current build queue? So, and how do I get a spot? Because how do I know that I can get in the queue?
Before we moved into the new factory,
Yeah.
it was 7 months. We're out to
Just
close
Christmas.
to Christmas.
Yeah.
Now in the new factory,
Yep.
we're in a position where we're up in the crew. We've got more guys coming on board, and we have more room and more space.
Yes.
So we're in a position where we can actually bring that build time forward.
Okay, but we're still at what, about 4 months?
Yeah, at least 4 or 5 months. So the boys run the pump, but with the new guys coming on board, there's a lot of training exercise. We've got to train all the new guys up.
Yeah. So
we're now in a position where we're actually bringing on a painting crew. We're bringing on a cleaning crew because our original crew just don't have the time to be doing all this stuff. So now we're although hats off to Snowy, man, his paint job. I think the new painting crew, he's got a lot to live up to.
That's true.
Like this.
We've got amazing carpenters that can do. They're multifaceted, talented
and
guys.
His finished products, it's like car judo. Like it's just like right up there. You know? Snowy, you're the man.
I don't know if he watches the lives.
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
He does a good job.
Someone can tell him. That's not his real name. Everyone who, if you're a friend of Rick's, you'll get a nickname. That's just how it works. Okay, so can we come from interstate for an inspection? How does that work?
Well, as it turns out, the new factory is overlooking Albion Park Airport.
Yeah, and the good part about that is you can fly in from Brisbane and Melbourne to there.
Direct.
You don't have to go
air
to
flights,
Sydney.
Brisbane and Melbourne, straight to Albion Park.
That's it.
But listen, I'm going to throw out there straight away.
Oh, what is he going to say?
If you fly in from Brisbane or Melbourne, right?
Yeah.
Or Sydney.
No,
would you fly from
Are
Sydney?
you helicopter? You can helicopter from Sydney.
Okay.
Yeah.
If
you were helicoptering from Sydney, I don't know if you'd be looking for a tiny house.
Yeah.
But
but if you
happy
do,
to chat.
But if you do, listen, I'll tell you, I'm going to cover your airfare. Okay. I'm going to throw that. You sign up with us. I'm paying.
So you get a holiday as well.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds all right.
And I'll tell you what. Actually, I don't even have to pay for the taxi fare because we're that close to the airport.
We'll pick you up.
You literally walk across that.
You have to carry your own bags. Okay.
You literally walk across the airport straight.
Don't let the plane head wings hit you on the way past. Yeah. Oh,
the one good thing about it, when the Chinese invade.
No, stop.
We'll see.
That's censorship. Don't say it anymore. Okay. Let's talk solar packages because we've had a lot of people, because we're doing these solar packages, and we've talked about this a lot about how expensive it is. You're not going to get into that.
No.
You're going to curb your tongue.
Right. Okay.
But
okay.
Solar packages available. Are they available for people who don't want to build with us, like might be building themselves, but can they get all the time and effort that you have put in and our electricians have put in on these solar packages to make them affordable and available for stop laughing.
I've got to say, there's a lot of hey, listen.
Don't say any. I'm so scared. What's going to come out of his mouth? Oh no!
I'm a carpenter. I'm definitely not an electrician.
No,
right?
That's true. And we've got great electricians.
I've done a lot of homework on solar.
Yeah.
We've got some great guys now working with us that are actually partnering with us on the solar.
Yeah, to make it affordable.
Make it affordable because let's face it, a lot of these tiny homes are going off grid, man. They're going out in the bush.
Of course they are.
They're going out in the sticks.
A price of $20,000 to $30,000 for the solar is just too much. It's too much.
Damn.
So we have to get this down. How can we make it work? Yeah. And we've come up with things that are sort of maybe even a little bit new in the industry for tiny homes, doing it a bit differently, but making it still work. That using a different, I won't get too into it, but a different way of doing it that's working.
You bought a tiny home from somebody else.
We can do solar packages for you.
Talk to us about the solar.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got solar packages that we can supply on demand.
Yeah.
Right. Happy days.
That's it with that. So part of the factory showroom that is opening soon will have things like, so it's like an aftermarket tiny house store as well. So you'll be able to get, if you might be building a shipping container and want to do it off grid, or you do your own caravan conversion. I don't know, but you're doing your own thing. But you want the solar, you want the composting toilet. You'll be able to just come and get those things from us without having to buy a home from us. So
come and
it's
talk
very
to us.
exciting.
It's early days.
Yeah.
We're just setting up the showroom now.
Yeah.
For all the DIYs, come and talk to us.
Yeah.
We got compost toilets, we got shower cubicles, we got solar
Yeah,
packages,
those beautiful
we've got generators.
fiberglass shower cubicles are awesome and really are, honestly, we have one in our own home. So it's our new home and we've put one of those in because I just think they're amazing and they're so easy to clean. Why wouldn't you? There's no tiling, there's no grout, there's no tiles coming off the wall. It's fantastic. So, we'll have those things available for you to just put into your own home, your own tiny, your own caravan,
and talking
whatever
about
it is.
building from what's the word I'm after?
I don't know. I'm scared. What's going to say?
We stand by what we built our tiny homes from.
Yeah.
We've actually built our home. See, I don't know if you can see it, but anyway.
So these walls here, and the ceiling, that's all out of the same stuff that we built the tiny homes
refrigeration panel.
out
We've
of.
actually built our home from refrigeration panel. I love this stuff.
So we're in the middle of winter. It is so warm in here.
It's
It's so warm in here.
Yeah.
Because it's so well insulated.
Yeah.
So the outside skin of our walls are concrete, but the inside is Bondor. So shout out to Bondor. It's a great product.
Great product.
That's not a generic name. It's refrigeration panel is what it's called. But Bondor is the company that we get our product from. So if you work for them, hi.
Shout out to Bondor.
Yeah. So the last question that we had today was, when does the factory store open to the public?
When does it open now? I know, I'm just building tiny homes, man. I'm flat.
So I'm still waiting. There's a few things I'd like to get built to make the store look, because we're inside of a factory, but I still want to make it look cool. So so when you walk inside of the factory, you then come into another space that will look amazing. And so there's a couple of things that are still to be built, and once they're done, we'll have a little soft opening, so we'll just sort of say, hey, we're open, come and have a look, and then we'll have a bit of a party, and then we'll be open. So probably early July, I think.
Yeah, early July?
I think so.
Yeah, is that when your shipping containers coming in?
That's when you're going to finish building the things for me that are on the list. So he said to me today, okay, so
here we go,
I have a bit of a to-do list, because my love language is acts of service. Have you ever done the love languages? There's 5. Mine is acts of service. So I've got a little list for the hubby to do, and if he ticks it off, I feel so loved. It's like, oh, I went out this morning, I came back, he put something on the wall. I'm just, that's amazing. So
but
he thinks that the list just is never, it just doesn't end. There's more on the list.
That's your fact. I can remember talking about this morning, right?
We did.
Like,
after your acts of service was finished.
Mine's physical access.
Physical touch. So anyway, was it G?
But like, correct me if I'm wrong.
Do you know what the 5 love languages are?
I know what mine are.
I know.
But listen, like, correct me if I'm wrong.
So let's talk about it.
No.
Acts of service. Do you know what your love language is? Acts of service, physical touch, time, gifts, and words of affirmation. So so mine are acts of service and words of affirmation. If someone says you're awesome, I'm like, yay, yahoo! And acts of service, if someone does something for me, come home and my washing up's been done, I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys are the best. That's just the best. So what are yours? Physical touch.
Yeah, physical touch.
That's about it.
That's it. But I talked to you this morning,
time to
go. Like, most people, they start with 1, 2, 3, 4, the list, right?
Yeah.
Most people cross off 1, then they'll start at 8, and 9, and keep going.
Yes, I do. I do that.
I know.
But what I do is I reconfigure the list, so you don't get sick of seeing it. So let's put number 9 and number 1. Because that's more important.
Every weekend, I'm still on 1.
No, he's done 1. But he's got like 10 more. So I'd have to keep
But
moving the
it
list.
just doesn't stop. It's just like.
It's never going to end. Never. Oh, good thing you love me. All right. Well, that's probably it for us today. Make sure you leave some questions and comments
questions for
and let
this
us
week.
know if you'd like to know anything else. And we'll see you next Sunday at 4:30.
Yeah.
Bye.
Hooroo.